Hey guys, Thoại here with another video on your decision making as a jungler, and more specifically for this video, it's going to give you some tips on how to play versus Evelynn jungle. Now this is something that happened in one of my games that we're watching back, and I just want to go into detail what I was thinking, my decision making, my thought process, and hopefully you can learn some things that you can use in your games to help you become a better player. Now the reason why I wanted to focus on Eve specifically is because she kind of forces a very different playstyle when she's in a game. The reason for that is because she has a permanent invisibility when she's running around the map. What that means is that your wards don't spot her, so you have to play very different, a very unique playstyle when you've got an enemy Evelynn. And it can be a real pain for your allies because they never really feel safe, because even if they buy wards, Eve can still gank them. So for this video specifically, this is kind of a follow-on from a video which I did before about your dynamic decision making. So if you're going to watch this video and you like it, you enjoy it, I suggest you watch the other one too. I'll put a link to that in the description. But right now what I'm doing for this game is I've just sided up my red buff. The reason I did that is because it's where I get the most help from my bot lane. I take away red buff, I do a mini camp, and then I take away blue buff as well. This is a very standard jungle route to getting you level 3. Now I'm going to pause right here and just say, right now what I'm thinking about doing is I want to go gank somewhere. Lee Sin is very powerful early. You can do a lot early game with Lee Sin. Now is a great time to be looking to be aggressive, to be looking to making some plays and doing some things. Looking at the map, where do I want to go? What do I want to do? Well, very similarly to the last video I did, if the enemy jungler starts at blue and then does a mini camp and goes to red, very similar to what I have done, then Eve is probably going to finish her jungle route very closely to when I finished as well. So I've also got to look at it from her point of view, whereas Eve going to go. And looking at this top lane, Rumble is absolutely 100% juicy for Eve. So I figure, well, Eve is probably going to go and gank top, so I'm going to go and counter gank. However, something different about playing versus an Eve, like I said at the beginning, is your wards don't really do anything versus her. So what I wanted to do here is, if I had run through the lane and sat in a bush, Rumble would have then warded this tri-bush, and we would have seen when Eve, or when the enemy jungler was coming for a gank, I would have been able to counter gank and it would have all gone lovely. However, because it's Eve, we can't see her on the ward, so there's no point making that play. There's no point having this tri-bush warded and then waiting in a bush for her to come, because we don't know if that's ever really going to work. We don't know if Eve's even coming because we won't see her on the ward. So what I do instead is I sit in this tri-bush myself, because then if Eve does come into the bush, she's going to run into me. I'm going to be able to see her, and because Lee Sin is quite strong early, Eve is also fairly strong, but Lee Sin is one of the strongest level 3 champions. I can beat the crap out of her, and so that was my plan. So I sit in that bush, but she doesn't come. I decide, well, there's no point wasting my entire time, so I see if I can find her in her jungle. Her wraiths are up, she's not around here, so I'm just going to take these away. I'm going to smite away the big wraith and then leave these minis up so that it's counter jungling and that they don't, the wraiths don't respawn. But what I also do here is, this is the second tip for playing versus Eve. The first being a human ward so that she runs into you. The second one is this. These wards here, you can't actually ward your lanes to see when Eve is coming, when Eve is running around, but you can ward her jungle. This way, whenever she comes out of stealth and when she goes to fight jungle monsters, you will see her, because you'll see her killing the monsters and then she'll be revealed. That's a good way to be spotting out Eve, and that's exactly what I've done with this trinket ward here. I'm still floating around this top lane though, because I figure, well, this is still the best place for Eve to be going. I'm not wasting my entire time though, because I have counter jungled her twice. So I'm still getting some XP. It's not amazing XP, but I'm still getting some. And I actually see her pop up on this ward here, exactly like I had planned by putting it there. I wanted to see her killing the monsters. So I see her, I see she's on low health, I see she's getting involved, and so I go for her. Now I want to save my Q for the very last second so it does the most damage possible and that she can't flash away from me too early. And what we do is I take her to very low health, and then Rumble flashes in. He gets the ignite down onto her. I want to kill her as soon as possible because I don't want this Rumble to take any more damage than necessary. And we managed to pick up the free kill on that. So now we have an Eve dead. We have me count jungling the crap out of her. I'm snowballing, Rumble snowballing, and it's just a really favorable position for us right now. And this is how you can, a good way to be playing versus Evelynn, and the decisions you can be making. It's really important to deal with Evelynn as a jungler specifically, because then it makes your lane's lives a lot easier. And a tiny point which I want to mention right here as well is that Rumble's recalling because he's on low health. Jarvan just TP'd back to lane. And now this wave position here is very favorable for Jarvan. There are more minions on our side than there are on his side, which means that our wave is going to be pushing into him. Not very fast, but it's going to be pushing into him. So he can actually freeze this lane here. He can let his minions die, and it will deny Rumble any CS, and then it will make the lane go into a negative or unfavorable position for us. So what I do is, instead of just recalling, I actually kill all of these minions, which means that our minion wave then gets pushed into their tower, which means that the tower will then reset the minion wave, and it sets it up more positively, or more favorably I should say, for Rumble coming back into lane. So that's what I want to talk about in this video, guys. This is, like I say, a good way to be playing versus Evelynn. It's just about your decision making and all that kind of stuff. I hope you found this video useful. If you did find it useful, feel free to give it a thumbs up. You can subscribe to me for more educational league content with a bit of entertaining stuff on the side as well. You can check me out on my Facebook or my Twitter to stay up to date with me. You can catch me streaming on Twitch as well. And like I say, if you like this video, this kind of content about your decision making, then I'm going to link the previous episode in the description as well. But thanks very much for watching, guys, and I will see you in my next video.